Hey guys, how's it going? It's week 14. I'm sitting here on Twitch talking about the week 14 slate for NFL on DraftKings. I'm going to take a look at some questions that my chat has. We're going to go over their lineup building questions. I'm going to come up with maybe some tips for them in terms of strategy, maybe bankroll management, whatever questions they have. I take an hour every single Friday and I go over them, then we export them and put them on YouTube for you guys. So thank you for being here on YouTube. If you're new to the channel, please drop a subscription on this YouTube channel. Hit that notifications bell so you can find out anytime I post brand new NFL content. I do it, 4 or 5 times a week. We get new videos out there from Monday night, Thursday night football to the main slate. The first look on Monday, I take a look back every Monday at what I did the previous week, where my process was right and wrong, all those sorts of things. So there's a lot of different types of video for you to consume, and there's a lot of providers that provide it. So I appreciate you clicking on this video, and I'd love to see you stay a while. So drop a like on this video. Let's see how many we can get before lock on Sunday. Maybe 500 plus would be a good number, a random number that popped into my head. Why don't we just get to the chat?
Boom.
Boom. As soon as we get there.
Chat. Stack the Chiefs equals profit.
I kind of don't disagree with that, but this is a tough week to do an entire stack with the Chiefs because of the matchup. But I do like the Chiefs, and I will not be fading them in cash or in tournaments this week. Any 5K, any low 5K quarterbacks for cash? Now, yes, we typically look for guys like that in terms of where we're going to look to for cash. I like to build between like a 5 and a 6K QB and then spend on running back and then find one wide receiver, pay down at tight end. I think this is a totally different week. We're later in the season. We've got players at running back. We have 3 great value plays at running back this week for you to choose from. And it depends on, if you like your Neapolitan ice cream, do you like chocolate, vanilla, or strawberry? That's basically the way that it's looking between Jackson and Samuels, and Wilson Jr. So it depends on which one that you want. I personally prefer one over the others. I've written my Best Buys column on ESPN Plus. Go check that out, please. Chat asked Jeff Wilson or Jalen Samuels for DK cash. I mean, I kind of prefer Wilson, guys. I think Samuels is fine. Like, here's the difference. I don't think that one is great and the other one makes you a donkey, right? I think that both are fine. I slightly prefer Jeff Wilson Jr. Hilton seems legitimately questionable as of today. Yeah, the tweet that just went out was that they're cautiously optimistic that T.Y. Hilton will play. Any other Colts wide receivers you think are strong? Pascal and Rodgers, but it's really just going to be the Ebron show. Kamara and A. Rodgers feel too cheap. They are. But you're going to have to make decisions in cash because I think that there's 4 running backs at the high end that you're going to want to consider for your cash game lineups. So really, it comes down to which one that you want to play. Do you want to pay all the way up for Christian McCaffrey? Saquon Barkley is good always. Like, he's too involved. Ezekiel Elliott leading the league in touches at home against a porous Philly defense over the last 4 weeks. They've just been getting gashed against the run. And Alvin Kamara at 8,100. So I don't think you can play 3 of these guys optimally in cash with the value that's out there at running back. Most people are going to play. Okay, 100% of the people are going to play at least one of the value running backs. Many people are going to play 2 of the value running backs and then try and work in other things. So it's going to depend on where you kind of get your stuff, which route you want to take in cash. I think any one of these guys can go for 30 points. I think Kamara is probably the least likely of the trio, of that quad to go for 30 plus points, although he can because of the matchup, because of how good he is, because of all these other things. But if you said, rank the ones you think have a ceiling of 30 between Elliott or Barkley or McCaffrey or Kamara. Kamara would come in 4th to me out of that quad. Juju McCaffrey or A. Brown and Aaron Jones. Juju McCaffrey for me. Best wide receiver. I think A. Brown and Aaron Jones is good for tournaments, though. Like, very good for tournaments. Best wide receivers for 4,500. Sutton. Thoughts on Sutton with Sanders done? Following that up in the chat immediately. I think he's going to get a lot of volume. He's going to play all the snaps, and he's going to have a floor of 6 targets for 4,500. CMC and Zeke start there. Don't hate that. CMC, Godwin, KELCE versus Jones, Nook, Ebron for DK cash. I mean, those are more... Okay, M. Simon, that's more of like a Sunday morning question. Right now, I probably would prefer the first one with CMC and with CMC and KELCE, and then Godwin is fine, especially with Djax out. I think that you're getting a good amount of volume there. You're getting massive upside. You're getting touchdown and red zone usage. I think that triple has it all. But obviously things can change by Sunday morning. Kamara equals elite GPP play. Yes, that's where I agree. I think that his ownership should be lower than the other three, which makes him easy to leverage the field with, because all four of those guys can't carry huge ownership because of the three value guys are going to carry large ownership. Trying to figure out which one of that 7 is going to turn into the most popular triple, I don't know. Deshaun Hamilton seems like the move over Sutton. I mean, sure, he's min salary. I just don't know how many targets he's going to get. I think he's fine. I think he's fine in the same way that I thought Aitman was fine, the way that Bruce Ellington was fine, but I just don't know how involved he's going to be. Now, if he has 4 catches for 90 yards, then he's a smash fest. KELCE over Ebron if you have the cash. For me, yeah. If you need the cash to spend elsewhere, then Ebron's totally fine with me. I will never tell somebody this week that, don't play Ebron. That you have to pay up for KELCE if you need the extra 1,000. You need to cut somebody else off your lineup. The top 3 tight ends are very, 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 very viable this week. Best cash quarterbacks leaning Rodgers. I think he's going to be exceptionally popular, especially considering how cheap he is against Atlanta, who's not been good at stopping the pass, not stopping the pass to running backs. They've been really inefficient at stopping wide receivers, which is something they used to be very good at. Aaron Rodgers could throw for 3 touchdowns in this game very easily for $6K. Jameis Winston at 6,200. Andrew Luck, difficult matchup and in division at 5,900, but I don't hate him. And where did old boy go? Give me a second. I mean, Deshaun Watson also 5,900. Those would be the guys that I'd be focusing on in that kind of same range. Thoughts on Keenan versus Thomas? I prefer Keenan. Or Keenan Allen. Do I like the savings you get with Gronk or Ebron and DK Cash? I'd heavily weight Ebron over Gronk. Gronk's a tournament-only play for me today, this week. He's not somebody I want in my cash game because he's not getting a ton of targets. He does still have touchdown upside, however. If and when the Patriots get into the red zone, he's going to be a massive target. He can still make great contested catches and use his body to box out. He's never going to lose that trait. But give me the guys that are going to get 10-plus targets on a week-in, week-out basis, and right now that's Ebron, Ertz, and KELCE if you're paying up. Thoughts on McCoy and GPPs? I'm all right with that. He's cheap enough to do it, and he's not going to be highly owned because that offense is not good in a really low totaled game. Where is a no-go this week? I think he's going to carry very low ownership. At least he's going to be on the field a ton. It doesn't mean that he can't catch a touchdown. Finally realizing that paying for KELCE over a punt tight end is way more reliable. I mean, yeah, but most weeks you can't find the value. I mean, I kind of said on the first look video that, what if you just said screw it all year and just paid for Travis Kelce in your cash games, right? 42, 31, 10.6, 28, 19, 14, 11, 18, 20, 22, 32. Yeah, he busted week 1. He'd be like the number 6 wide receiver in the league right now. He's the wide receiver 6 overall if you combine wide receivers and tight ends. So, yes, I have my back-tested 6-year tried and true winning percentage lineup construction way of doing things, right? But you have to be able to adapt. And if we had just played Gurley, who's in the recipe, right? If you just played Gurley with Mahomes and KELCE every single week in your cash game and said, whatever, those 3 are lock buttoned, I'm going to find the value somewhere else, then you probably would have had a very, 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 very profitable year in your cash games. So, as well as tournaments, because that triple is basically averaging, 80 to 85 fantasy points on the season? Almost 90 fantasy points for that 3. And then you just got to find the value around them. And every week value kind of pops up. But if you just said, you know what, I'm plugging those 3 and I'm making all the other decisions, then you'd have been fine pretty much all the time. Just because of the floor that they've given you and the access to a ceiling. So knowing when to break the rules is very important. Thoughts on Zay Jones? Reading a lot about him this week. Yeah, I mean, they released everybody. He's had a couple of big games. I wrote him up in Best Buys this week. A little bit more detailed. You can go kind of check that out. We talked about him on the Edge podcast as well. Go check that out. It's on YouTube, on DraftKings YouTube channel. If you want to hop over there and look at the Edge video, the entire video, the podcast is available wherever you download podcasts. Big Surge, thank you for the 100 biddies. Ridley or Pettis a reach for cash? I mean, what? Why? Like, why are we doing that? Like, I'm trying to figure out what the rest of your lineup looks like. Because, like, if you're prioritizing Ridley in cash over Wilson or Samuels or even Justin Jackson, I don't understand that. I think those 3 would be the top 3 value running back options, and depends which one that you like. Or 2, and then plug in either 1 or 2 stud running backs with the value running back. But why are we going with Ridley there? And Pettis I'm all right with. But I don't understand Ridley. Am I skeptical of Winston and cash with a resurgent Saints defense that hasn't given up more than 17 points in a month? No, not really. He's going to throw it, and they're just not going to be able to run it. Now, could he bust? Sure. But the amount of scoring that should theoretically happen in that game, and him playing at home and as efficiently as he has been, 2 touchdowns seems like a solid floor for a team that has to throw the ball to be effective. 300 yards most definitely in play. Curtis Samuel, cash game viable on DK. If you're spending up in a lot of other places, yeah, he's fine. I think there's other routes you can go if you want. I don't know that he's a must. I think he's fringy for cash. Like, if you have a bunch of guys that you like and he just kind of fits as the last man in for 4,000, or like if you say, okay, I don't want both Denver wide receivers. You don't want Sutton at 45 and Deshaun at 3K. If you want to kind of spread things out a little bit, I get that too. Big Surge, thank you for the 100 bits. A. Miller or Deshaun Hamilton in GPP this week? Miller's on a night game. He's not on the main slate. Right? The Bears play the Rams in primetime. Is Keenan Allen a lock in cash this week? I think he is a great cash game play this week. If you're going to play him in cash, that means that you're playing 2 of the value running backs and 1 stud, and then going with Keenan Allen at wide receiver. Starting to feel like it's a chalky week in GPPs. I mean, every week's a chalky week in GPPs. That's why I like GPPs, because there's always ways to find different paths to go. Doesn't Jackson versus Cincy just feel like the right cheap running back? I think he gets volume. I think he is the least likely of the 3 that we're going to know exactly what his role is going to be going into the game, which will make him the lowest owned of the 3, which also makes him a great tournament play. Because everybody's going to be on the other ones. And if they're there and you're on, if they're over there and you're over here, and over there gets like 9 points or 11 points like Ware last week, and you're on the guy over here who instead of 30 or 40% is 5 to 10%, and your guy goes for 20 to 24 points, you are passing all of these people over here, and there's less people coming along with you for that ride. I mean, I think that Jackson what I think they should get and what they will get are 2 different things. I believe that Austin Eckler is a great change of pace back in the NFL. I don't think that Austin Eckler at this point in his career has what it takes to be a lead back who can get fed the ball 15 to 20 times, especially with his work on special teams and kick returns and everything else. So to keep him excelling at those spots, and they've even expressed concern with those sorts of things, it would only make sense to run the hell out of Jackson at about 60% of the carries. If they're going to run it 30 to 35 times, and he gets 17 touches, and Eckler gets, 12 to 14, and then you sprinkle in another guy for 3 to 5. Would make a lot of sense from a team management point of view. That doesn't mean that's what the Chargers are going to do. You're locking Mahomes, CMC, KELCE, Allen. You can do that. You know? Like, I think you can build that, right? So you said you're locking KELCE, Allen. If I can find him. You said Mahomes and McCaffrey. 3,900. You can most certainly do that. Like this week with the salaries that are out there, you can definitely do that. There's 2 other running backs that are super cheap. Boom. And where's homie on the Pittsburgh Steelers? Samuels, 3,700. You have 4,000 now. So I'm assuming you're going with Sutton. This is not my lineup. I'm just trying to figure out, like I always do this, I try to figure out where my opponents are, right? It's like reconstructing a lineup. So like if you see somebody has all these guys starting later, not in this scenario, but like I do this in my head-to-head games. If some of their lineups locked, I try to figure out what path they took with the rest of the lineup. So Sutton here, defense, let's just plug in a 3K. I didn't even look at who it is. Steelers, great. Leaving him 4,600. You can go lower there and get a higher price guy. Like, you know, it's very much in play. Hell, you could even go Deshaun, right? Go Deshaun, and that leaves you 6,100 for a wide receiver. High. There's all these dudes. Or up to T.Y. Hilton. Like, it's very viable. And I don't dislike it. That is a wall of text, R. Henderson. I am still contemplating the optimal lineup for cash for last week. You went against most of the sharps. Mahomes, didn't trust game script. I can't. This is very hard for me to read. Just by hope. Okay, Henderson, R. Henderson, put that in Discord, and like we can analyze that later in Discord. It's very hard for me to do that one on stream. Bruce Ellington seems very cheap for his target share. He does, but not very much ceiling. Ertz and KELCE in one lineup. Maybe. I don't think you need to. But you could. Like, I've been blocking out using multiple tight ends in tournaments for most of the season this year. I might do it this week. You thought I kept calling him Arn Anderson? Woo! Herndon, Keenan Allen, and Njoku, Hilton in cash. Give me the first one. Hilton's a little hurt right now. I think Herndon has a little bit better floor than Njoku, although I think Njoku's ceiling is much better than Herndon's. But Keenan Allen has both. Wentz, Ertz, Zeke viable for cash. Yeah. Can you get a link to Discord? Of course. Can one of the mods throw a Discord link in there, please? I don't know if that Discord link from Moobot works. It never seems to work, even as many times as I change it. And I've changed it in Moobot a bunch. It never seems to work. Says you don't have permission with your sub. Once you're in Discord, there's an instructions folder. Follow all the instructions there, and then once an hour, it will repopulate everybody that's got an active membership like you do here on Twitch. Lacoste and Aaron Jones, flop lag week. Not in cash for me for Lacoste. I'm okay with Aaron Jones, but I don't know that you need it. How do I feel about Humphreys or Moore in cash? Who do you prefer? My issue with Moore is Cam's arm. I think that limits his ceiling. I think his target floor has been outstanding, but if you're comparing Moore at 5,700 with Cam's arm right now to Humphreys with Winston playing the way he is, I'd probably prefer Humphreys or Godwin to Moore. Humphreys Godwin duo just fine in GPPs? Yeah, I'm all right with that. Trying to think who else of the running, like where else are people going to go at wideout? I wonder if everybody's just going to go double value at running back and then load up at wide receiver and tight end in cash, which seems way more variable, way more variant than going with 2 stud running backs in cash this week. Can you discuss the pros and cons of going 2 cheap running backs and 1 stud versus 2 stud running backs and 1 cheapie? Yeah, I think I just did. Like, I'd rather do 2 cheaps and 1 stud for tournaments. The way that things are going right now, based on the way that salaries are, there's enough volume wide receivers that are cheap that you don't need to go with timeshare value running backs. You know, this isn't Galladay or what's his name? This isn't earlier in the season with the Lions running back, Kerryon Johnson, where he was super cheap and you knew he was going to get a bunch of carries. These are timeshare guys. Jalen Samuels is not going to get 100%. Wilson Jr. looks like he's going to get the most. Justin Jackson not going to get full usage. I'd be surprised if Wilson Jr. gets 20 touches this game, but he might get like 16, 17. Jalen Samuels might get 15 to 17. That might be enough to get there because they're both going to be included in the pass game because they're both good pass catchers. So you're not getting 25 touches out of these guys. And there's enough wide receivers at 4K and down, right? At 5K and down. You have Godwin, you have Humphreys, Fitz, we can skip him. Tate's been really good recently, at least consistent with 7, 8 targets the last 3 weeks. At least you know you're getting a guy who is now fully integrated into that offense. Courtland Sutton, with the injury to Emmanuel Sanders, is now getting is going to get 6+ targets every single week moving forward. And it could be 6 or it could be 11. And I don't know which one. But you're going to get a good amount of volume with him. MVS could be in play again with the firing of their coach. Pettis at 4,400. I don't hate. Consistent volume the last 3 weeks, 6, 7, and 7. Zay Jones stepping into a larger role with the team. I don't think that he's going to catch 2 touchdowns every week. I don't care about that. I would love a guy that scores touchdowns, and he obviously has the attention of his quarterback. But I like this. You know, I don't like the 1 against Jacksonville, but I'll take the 26 targets the other 3 weeks, and they've released everybody else that was around him, so now he's got a steadier path to snaps, routes run, and targets moving forward. There's so many value plays at wide receiver that are solid. Callaway, Mike Williams, if Terrell is out, but if Terrell's probably going to play, then you can fade that if you want to. Aitman, Beasley, and Deshaun all the way down at 3K. There's so much value at wide receiver that for cash, I'd probably prefer to get 2 guys that are bankable. And there's 4 of them, and we talked about them earlier. Zay okay in cash. Yeah, I don't hate it. Bills D for you this week. You think they play well in this spot? They've played well at home. So I don't disagree with you. You know, they've been a solid defense at home for fantasy. Like, their upside has been solid. They're just an up and down defense overall. When they play really good teams, you know, it is what it is. But they're not playing a really good team right now. So when you factor in that Darnold's back and he has the ability to make mistakes, as we've seen, he is very interception prone. They have shown the ability the last 3 weeks to get consistent pressure on the passer with 3 sacks in each of the last 3 games. They do cause turnovers. They do have a shutdown cornerback in White on the outside. And they're playing at a very tough place to play with weather. I don't hate this defense. The problem is they're priced up at 3,200. So that's all been baked into the formula at this point. There's a lot of defenses that are in play this week. Obviously, a very highly variable position. Memphis Pro, thank you very much for the 4 months in a row with Twitch Prime. I appreciate you using your Twitch Prime sub on this channel. Because we have Godwin and Sutton news this week, I don't think we need 2 of the cheap running backs. That's what I'm saying, Steve. You know, you can, and I think people will. You know, Derek Carty was on Twitter today saying we have the position that doesn't really matter all that much, and there's value everywhere at that position, so why aren't we just taking at least 2 of these guys? Because there's also value at wide receiver that allows us to get the guys who do matter into the lineup. Because there are running backs who matter in terms of fantasy. Running backs don't matter in the NFL. Running backs don't matter at your fantasy draft. Running backs most definitely matter in daily fantasy. Is Josh Allen the best QB in the NFL now? Gonna go with no. Thanks, Memphis. Appreciate that. David Johnson going overlooked at home. He kind of is, right? Kind of is. I talked about that on the edge. Red Dot, thank you for the 4.
KELCE, Hamilton, or Kenan Allen, Herndon.
I like neither. Give me Kelson and Keenan. Damn it. I mean, if you're going to punt tight end, Herndon's probably my favorite cheap tight end to play with. I don't hate KELCE and Deshaun Hamilton. I don't know what Hamilton's going to do, so it's hard for me to put a stamp of approval on the guy when I don't know what his role's going to be this week. I think that Phillip Lindsay takes a little bit of a step forward in terms of his usage in the passing game, which is very interesting considering how efficient he's been and explosive he's been on the ground. Aaron Jones, Chubb, David Johnson, Mixon, Lindsay. What? Choose one of these 47 players. I would take Aaron Jones, then David Johnson, then Lindsay out of that group. Defense doesn't matter. Quarterbacks don't matter. Running backs don't matter. Nothing matters. Late round everything. You think these Barkley, CMC, Zeke, Gurley type running backs should be priced much higher. They're basically the same price as the top wide receivers who bust at a much higher rate. Yep. Exactly. Or price the wide receivers down by 10%. Right? And that might entice people to do something different. Right? But like, it's a difficult balance because from a salary building, like it used to be this way. A couple of years ago, 2016 was like easily my best year in daily fantasy. It was the year I won the Millie. I ran off like 11 straight weeks where I had the cash game nuts and I had like an 88% win rate in cash games through the first 11 weeks. Totally unsustainable, but very profitable as well. I was winning tournaments every single week. I was crushing. Outside of winning the Millie, it would have been my second best year. And it was only my second best year in terms of profit and return on investment because I came in second in the Millie in 2013 when I won the Player of the Year award. So like outside of those outlier examples, 2016 was ridiculous. And 2016, the most expensive running backs, Le'Veon Bell, David Johnson, weren't more than 7,800 or 8,100 until week 10 or 11. So you could get two of these dudes and still get like an Antonio Brown back then at 9K. I kind of feel like the running backs, guys like McCaffrey, Barkley, Elliott, guys who are touching the ball 20 to 30 times, getting 5+ targets. Think about where a 5-6 target wide receiver gets priced, right? Between 3,500, even one that doesn't get much, like Bruce Ellington, 35 to 4,500. So McCaffrey is better than that. Barkley is better than that. Elliott is better than that. I really feel like these guys have to be priced between 9,000 and 12,000. All of them. And then bring down the wide receivers because there's more variance in the top level wide receivers. Bring down Antonio Brown by 10%. Put him at 8,100. Put Thomas down at 7,600. Put Adams down at 7,500. Now you're tempting people to go for the wide receivers and there's more variance in them and they can't just stack up as much as they want at running back. But they haven't done that. So here we are on Team Jam 'em in once again. Don't give DraftKings any ideas. Guys, DraftKings doesn't listen to me. Nobody listens to me. I just say what I say. I'm just talking head on the internet. Here's my head. I'm talking. That's all it is. Nobody listens. Let me click more buttons. Exactly. Baker and Cash, bad decision from Dr. Uchi, who I think was trying to give me 100 bits, but put a period after it, so I don't think it worked. Chiefs D or Sleeper or Chalky. I think they're in the middle of the road. I don't think they're going to be low owned. I don't think they're going to be the highest owned. But they did make it bigger. But that's on you guys. They didn't listen to me about that. You guys forced them to. You kept filling the tournament. Kudos on that, by the way. Keep doing that. Do a close-up and rage on the Phoenix Suns. Nah, I'm all right. And there's the Dr. Uchi 100 bits. Giants D plus Barkley and cash. Yeah, I don't hate that. You can do that. And then Steve Boynton with 100 bits. I appreciate all the bits donations. Everybody kind of wonders where the bit donations are going to go. I've pledged to give 100% of the bits that were donated on this channel to charity, a charity that I had not decided yet. But I kind of decided last week. I made the announcement earlier this week on stream. I'll put it on this YouTube video so you guys know. On the 22nd, I'll be playing Fortnite with Dr. Lupo. He's doing another fundraiser to try and raise over $1 million from his channel for the St. Jude Children's Hospital, raising money for cancer research to try and find a cure. We're going to be donating 100% of the bits that we've raised on this channel to that charity, and I'll be adding to that as well as I play Fortnite with him. We'll probably be streaming as well concurrently with Dr. Lupo that day. So that's it. That's where the bits are going to go. If y'all were wondering where the bits go on this channel, that's where they're going to go. It's going to go to a good cause. Not the human fund. Can I rank CMC, Barkley, and Zeke? CMC, Zeke, and then Barkley for me this week. Do I think dropping from KELCE, Samuel is worth going to Ebron and Tate? No, I like KELCE, Samuel better. Where are you on donated bits for the season? I don't have the count on me right now, and it's not a command. I might make it a command, but I don't know if I can. I don't know if Streamlabs integrates with Moobot that way. We were at basically like $1,400 worth earlier this week. I forget if it was Sunday or Monday. We were about $1,400 worth of bits donated. Playing with Lupo is going to be a fun stream. I've been trying to get a little bit better at my Fortnite skills, trying to get them back because I haven't played in like 10 weeks. Can't turn down the... No, I understand the Seinfeld reference. Is there a better stack this year than Mahomes and KELCE? Nope. There is not. There is not one better stream. There's not one better, like, when I say stream, like a quarterback streamer, there's not one better situation, whether it's a full season stack or anything else, than Travis Kelce and Mahomes. I'll see if I can. I don't know if I can. It might be something that I'd have to manually update. Have I posted my picks versus spread? No, I haven't done it in 3 weeks. I'll try and get back on it. I'll type it while it's uploading, while this is uploading to YouTube later. Is Ware in consideration for either cash or GPP? GPP, yes. Cash, probably not. Sutton, Zay, and Godwin, too thin for cash with the dudes? Most definitely not. I think that's fine. Am I hanging with Mr. Cooper this week? Maybe in GPPs, but I haven't decided. Sweaty Jr., thank you for the Twitch Prime, and welcome to VIP. Can you guys show him some love in the chat? Another new member of the 2 Comma Club. And while you're here, might as well jump into Discord as well. Thank you for using your Twitch Prime sub on me. I do appreciate that. CMC, Barkley, Zeke possible? If so, is it worth it? I don't think that it's... Okay, it's possible. I don't think it's worth it to pass... in tournaments, yes. I don't think it's worth it to pass up the running back value this week. You have to take at least one of the running back value plays, possibly 2, not 3. Will you be streaming live? When will you be live streaming old school Snake game? Man, that would be amazing. I wonder how many viewers I could get to watch me play Snake. I have it on my phone. But, like, I'd need to get a computer. I'd need to get something where, like, it would work on my PC. Can you submit designs to RotoWare? Are they fans of the Edge, hence the shirts? I think they're just fans. And by the way, if you guys are watching, RotoWare has just put out a brand new shirt. For those of you on YouTube who are wondering what we're talking about, RotoWare, who has the Living the Smiz Life shirt. If y'all type ! shirt in the chat on Twitch, you can get the link to buy the Smiz Life shirt. They just produced a Play All the Dudes shirt. They printed the shirts, guys. So now we got to buy the shirts. If you're a fan of the podcast, if you're a fan of this channel, if you're a fan of my Twitch stream, you know that when there is stuff to do, I just say play the dudes, right? It's real simple. Stuff the value and play the right dudes. That's all you got to do. So they made a cool shirt. I think it's really neat with like the DraftKings runners for the tournaments here, kind of running into the money. Play all the dudes, you end up in the money. I like it. It's very simple, yet elegant. So go over to rotoware.com and check that out. Jedi Sith Lord says, new here, but I've been watching on YouTube all year. Well, thank you for making the way over, man. I appreciate you coming over from YouTube and using your Twitch Prime on this channel. That's such a good shirt. I love the shirt. Just play the dudes, y'all. Second best brand shirt after the Gazelle. Yeah, where is the Gazelle shirt? That was one of my first, and well, it wasn't my first. It was my best nickname, I think. It's the one that's stuck. There's the Gazelle shirt. The Gazelle shirt's also awesome. Look at that. That's a hot shirt. That shirt is so nice. I have both. I have this one, and I've got the Play the Dude shirt on the way, and obviously I have a few Smiz Life shirts. We might do like a shirt giveaway. I might add shirts to the wheel on Mondays for the giveaway to the subscribers. Chat's working. Found where you can play Snake on the computer. Sith Lord, is Gallup a good pivot from Amari this week? He's all right. I'd be okay with him for GPP. They're both GPP plays to me. Neither are for cash. If Hilton is out, how do I rank KELCE, Ertz, and Ebron for DK cash? KELCE, then Ebron, then Ertz for me. Being on the Gazelle and going to Twitter to see me post the GIF immediately following a touchdown is so satisfying. People wait for that. They get mad if it takes me like 30 seconds to post it too. Have I ever seen MTV Cribs? I have. Can we tour your place? I've done that on Periscope. I don't know if my wife wants me to do it. That's the problem. Like, I'd be down to do it, but I don't know if my wife is down. But I'd have to like film it and upload it to YouTube. Like, I did it on Periscope once, and my house is in a bad cell phone area, so like I have 2 wireless routers. So when I was streaming it from the front of the house and I go to the back of the house and I had to switch, it dropped the connection. I had to restart the stream. So I'd probably have to record it and then upload it. Do I play any Battlefront 2? No. I played the first one years ago, but like the second one came out, I was watching it, and then I had that loot box problem, and then I just never got it. Do I have Gazelle tweets in the drafts? Nope. I just have the GIF on my GIF folder on the upstairs computer. So if he scores, I just go there, type Gazelle, send. Y'all don't have any more questions for the slate? I mean, it's very straightforward. We've pretty much handled all the important questions. Thoughts on Jones as a cheaper pivot for one of the high-end running backs in cash? I don't hate it. I think it's risky. You know? He should smash. He should get 20 carries. He's a very efficient running back. He should be involved in the passing game, even more so against a team that can't stop that. He should. But they haven't. And now they have a new coach. And so there's a lot of unknowns that are coming into play this week. Should he get 20 touches? Should he play 80% of the snaps? Yes. Will he? I don't know. So there's risk involved, where I know that Ezekiel Elliott's going to get 20 to 25 touches this week. I know that CMC is going to get 6 to 10 targets this week. I know that Barkley's going to score 20 plus points because that's what he does every single week. I don't know what Aaron Jones is going to do, which makes him more of a GPP play for me than a cash game consideration. Oh yeah, if Gazelle goes to Indy, that would be amazing. Lindsey for cash viable. I think he's cash game viable. I just don't think that that's going to be the standard roster construction this week based on the way that the salaries are leading people. 5,500 to 6,000 QBs to avoid for tournaments or cash. I mean, I'll just kind of hit on both. Andrew Luck for me is more tournament viable than cash viable. Deshaun Watson, fine. Tom Brady, probably an avoid for me. Baker Mayfield, I'm fine with him. Lamar Jackson, I think this is an avoid, even though it's got this little green thing here. He can't really complete passes, though it can, you know, like his wide receivers are still talented. They're just not throwing the ball a ton. I think that they're going to try and deflate the ball to keep the offense off the field. They've done a really good job of owning time of possession since Lamar Jackson has been the starting quarterback. I think they're going to try to do that as best they can, and if they get really far behind, Lamar Jackson could just turn into a turnover machine, which is why a lot of people want to play the Chiefs defense. Dak Prescott's an avoid for me at that range. That's about it. Just those couple of guys in that range. You're afraid they may go back to Flacco during the game if Jackson struggles. Jackson is not the right quarterback to play against the Chiefs unless they play from ahead. Thoughts on Gus Edwards? No. Not in a week they're going to likely be playing from behind. To pivot a little, feeling good about the sub 2,500 defenses. Sure. Jets against Buffalo. Yes, it's on the road, but you have Josh Allen who turns the ball over a lot, so there's the possibility of touchdown upside here. I like the Giants defense against Washington because everybody's injured and Mark Sanchez is quarterback. Lots of turnover possibilities there. That's what you look for when you go against the quarterback. Panthers defense against Cleveland. Same situation. I prefer they be at home. But again, attacking rookie quarterbacks or bad quarterbacks is always a good route to kind of look at. KC against Baltimore at 2,300 I think is very viable. With Lamar Jackson starting, and the Cardinals, one of the top blitzing teams in the league in Detroit, really bad at protecting their quarterback. High sack potential here, even though they don't really have a whole lot of defensive high points in the last month. Carry on is out. Yep, Friday news starting to come out. Darren Lee, stud linebacker from New York Jets, suspended for 4 games. All right. Ebron, good to go. Yep. Cards, Chiefs, Browns. Yep. Those would be the and the Giants. Can I host Holka when I get off? He's on? Yeah, we'll rate him. If he's on, we'll rate him. That's not a problem with me. Zay Jones in cash, this is fine. That's kind of how I feel about it too with that low of a total. Was leaning Giants, wasn't sure if it was overlooking a cheap option. I think there's 3 or 4, but I think the Giants are maybe one of the best ones in that range. Not a problem. Glad to be here. Well, guys, I appreciate y'all being here for this video once again. If you're still watching, please drop a like on it. Let's see if we can get over 500 before the lineups lock on Sunday morning before kickoff. So if you have not subscribed to this channel, please do so. It costs you absolutely nothing, and it means an awful lot to me. I've tried to grow this channel, and we've done a really great job. You guys have done a really great job of supporting the channel. From the beginning of this football season, when I had about 4,000 subs, to now we're approaching 17,000 subs on YouTube. Appreciate you guys coming here every single week, watching the videos, commenting down below. All my socials are down below in the description. There's that subscribe button if you haven't clicked it already. Here's another video for you to check out, and we'll be back next week. Bye.